Welcome back. So we're going to look at the solutions for the practice problem. So let's begin with problem 1. So we're creating a Python program. It prompts a user for two numbers, any two numbers at all, like 3 and 7. It calculates the product and prints it out. So 3 multiplied by 7 is 21 as an example. Now the code must have meaningful variable names. It must include comments. And it is accomplished via a function. So you don't just multiply it straight out. There needs to be a function call, and in that function call you will be multiplying two numbers out. So let's look at the solution for that. So first thing we need to do is create comments, and comments begin with a hash symbol. So generally we use comments to give some sort of explanation of what is happening in our code, what our code is supposed to achieve. And then let's go ahead and define the function. So we're going to give it a meaningful name, multiply2, mult2. And this function takes two parameters, x and y. And it will multiply them together and then return it to the function call. So if 7 and 3 come in, 7 and 3 are going to be multiplied and 21 gets returned. In fact, here's a function call right there, and let's simplify it a little bit so it's easier to read. I'm going to remove the print statement just so we understand what's happening here. So we're making our function call, and we're sending up any two numbers, let's say 3 and 7, gets sent up here, and then 21 gets sent back. And we're not going to see anything on the screen. It's not an error, it worked perfectly fine, but we want to do something with that result that gets sent back to us. And what we're going to do is we are going to print it out. Now there's a few different ways you can do this. Okay, you can just simply make your function call and set it equal to y, okay, and then you can print out the value of y. It really doesn't matter how you do it. Both ways are perfectly good. So you can use this method or the method we showed previously. Now, where are the numbers going to come from? They are user input, and that's what's happening here. And to simplify things a little bit, let's get rid of those int statements right there, short for integer. Okay, and we'll see what this does. So we're prompting a user for the first number, and here's our first meaningful variable, number 1. And then we prompt him for a second number, and that becomes your second meaningful variable, number 2. Now the problem here is when a user types in here in the console, it's coming in as text data, and we have to convert it to integer. So if we're sending it up here and doing a multiplication, it doesn't make sense when you're multiplying two strings. Now even if you enter 3 and 7 here, that 3 and 7 is just text or just string. So let's first convert it to an integer. int converts the first one to an integer, and we do the same thing with the second number that's been inputted. And now when we multiply, we're not multiplying two strings, we are multiplying two numbers. So let's go ahead and try this out. Okay, so enter the first number. So we'll try 7, and then we'll enter 3. And then we can see the result of 21 gets returned to us.